While resting on the battlefield, a soldier accidentally spots a blinding light flashing from the nearby ruins. Filled with curiosity, he approaches to investigate, only to discover upon picking it up that it is merely a photograph of a beautiful woman. However, just as he tucks the photo into his pocket and prepares to turn back, an enemy shell lands precisely on the spot where he had just been standing. The shockwave from the explosion instantly knocks him unconscious. When Logan wakes from his coma, he learns that all his fellow soldiers were killed on the spot, and he alone survived. Yet, Logan knows deep down that this so-called protection does not belong to him. In the days that follow, he asks almost everyone in the unit, but fails to find the photo's true owner. So, he simply decides to keep it with him. Miraculously, from that point on, Logan manages to escape danger every time a life or death situation arises. Even his squad mates can't help but tease him about this magical luck, suggesting that if Logan makes it out of the army alive, he must find the girl in the photo to thank her in person. But the moment those words fall, a sudden explosion strikes, once again swallowing them in a heatwave. Yet, Logan survives miraculously once more and successfully returns to his hometown. He thought staying away from the war-torn battlefield would bring peace to his soul. However, the aftershocks of war continue to loom over Logan like a shadow, his long, strained nerves making it difficult to integrate into a peaceful life. Even the slightest sound resembling war is enough to send him into a state of high alert. It isn't until his sister turns off his nephew's game console that Logan can catch a momentary breath. He thought more rest would help, but when the children come to wake him, he is startled and accidentally chokes his nephew. This once incredibly warm home has now been shattered by his sensitivity and fear. Logan instantly falls into deep self-blame. He cannot understand why he alone survived while his teammates' lives were forever frozen on the battlefield. Logan doesn't even know where he belongs anymore. That photo, which saved him countless times, has now become his only conviction to keep living. Desperate to uncover all the answers and figure out where this bond comes from, Logan leaves without saying goodbye to his sister, shouldering his pack and taking his dog, Zeus, on a long, unknown journey of 1,500 kilometers. He travels through the first rays of morning light, piercing the mist, and chases the last glimmer of the setting sun. There are no noisy markets or the roar of the battlefield here, only the comfort of the journey and scenes of scenery that soothe the soul. Bathed in nature, Logan's soul slowly begins to relax. That long-lost white lighthouse stands majestically where the water meets the sky, as if waiting for the returning traveler. Logan doesn't rest at all and begins asking around about the whereabouts of the woman in the photo. Thanks to his unremitting efforts, he finally gets a clue at a tavern. It turns out the woman is named Beth, and she now runs a pet kennel with her grandmother in the town. And here, Logan finally meets the goddess of luck with whom he shares a deep connection. Beth walks slowly out of the morning light, and her moving silhouette makes Logan's heart skip a beat. At this moment, she is no longer just an image in a photo, but like a lamp illuminating Logan's weary world. However, just as Logan wants to explain everything, a sudden phone call interrupts their conversation. Helpless, Logan has to follow Beth into the house. Due to a shortage of hands at the kennel, she is currently swamped with work every day. When Beth hangs up, Logan prepares to take out the photo to explain his purpose. But the flyer he accidentally pulls out leads Beth to mistake him for a job applicant. So she hands him an application form directly. Logan looks at everything before him and hesitates deep down. Even though he wants to quickly reveal all his battlefield experiences, how could anyone easily believe in such magical luck? So Logan chooses silence, knowing that some truths need to be gently wrapped and settled by time, and some meetings, if broken by rushed words, might lose the gentleness fate intended.
So besides Zeus, do you have any experience working with dogs?
I worked with some bomb dogs.
Oh, so you were a cop?
Marine.
As a retired soldier, traveling over mountains and rivers to work in a kennel 1,500 kilometers away seems so abnormal that it sends a chill down Beth's spine. So she hurriedly rejects Logan's intention to join.
Sounds like you're having trouble finding someone for the job.
Why does a person drive from Colorado to Louisiana to work in a dog kennel?
I couldn't tell you. I walked.
You walked? You walked here from Colorado?
I like to walk.
Seeing Logan answer this way, Beth is convinced that this man is a complete lunatic. She then goes out to ask her grandmother, Ellie, for help, hoping she can drive away this liar. However, Ellie just takes one look at Logan and shows a hint of approval on her face. She thinks this young man might not be as terrible as her granddaughter described. Instead, he carries a reassuring aura.
Where were you? Wall Street?
No, ma'am, I was in the Marine Corps.
Ah, Marine Corps.
Hey.
Train him yourself?
Seeing that Logan has extraordinary experience in dog training, Ellie decides to follow her heart and hires him on the spot. Subsequently, Logan rents an old house in town, planning to settle down here first. As for the truth, he decides to put it aside for now and tell Beth when the time is right. However, on Logan's first day of work, he encounters an unwelcome guest. A police officer suddenly shows up at the door, and when he sees Logan, his eyes immediately fill with disdain and scrutiny.
Is there a problem, officer?
There will be. You don't answer my questions when I ask them.
No, I work here.
Upon learning that Logan is the new employee hired here, his look becomes filled with contempt.
Put your hands on that bench.
Due to the other party's status as a police officer, Logan has to comply. He places his hands on the table, allowing the man to search him. But Logan didn't have anything remotely suspicious about him. This was nothing more than the officer flexing his authority. Seeing this, the officer has to change the subject and starts asking about Beth's whereabouts. It turns out this policeman is Beth's ex-husband, Keith. Relying on his father being a high-ranking official in town, he has always acted arrogantly. Even though Beth divorced him, he still uses custody of their son, Ben, as a bargaining chip to firmly bind Beth's life, forbidding any man from getting close to her. Although Beth has long been tired of Keith's behavior, she silently endures it all so as not to lose her son. Afterward, Logan quickly integrates into life in this quiet town. The dogs also welcome his arrival. To everyone's surprise, Logan is extremely handy. He not only repairs the dilapidated eaves, but also fixes the long scrapped tractor. Compared to those places full of blood and war in the past, this low-paying job brings him precious peace. Under Logan's careful management, the kennel becomes tidy and orderly. Even the small cottage he just rented is kept spotless by him. Logan is like a tireless machine, never stopping the work at hand. All his actions are observed by Ellie. Looking at this steady and diligent young man, a gratified smile quietly appears on her face. Perhaps she has already treated Logan as part of the family, but Beth remains wary of Logan. She notices that this man always glances at her inadvertently, his gaze so focused that she feels she has nowhere to hide. She can't even figure out if this look carries gentle concern or an unspeakable secret. But Beth would never guess that every time Logan sees her, he feels an unprecedented peace. That feeling is not innate, but a tranquility that only a soul crushed by war and loneliness can feel. Beth knows nothing of this. She doesn't understand Logan's deep-seated emotions and often complains to her grandmother. The scene becomes awkward for a moment. Beth never expected Logan to appear here. To ease the atmosphere, Ellie hurriedly changes the topic, asking about Logan's past life. Logan doesn't hide anything, frankly stating that he went to the army after only 1 year of college. Hearing this, Beth can't help but tease him, thinking that just 1 year wouldn't allow him to learn any knowledge. But Logan ignores her, simply continuing to talk about the philosophy he has always loved.
Give us a quote of your favorite philosopher.
Sometimes the questions are complicated, and the answers are simple.
Don't tell me. Voltaire? It's Voltaire, isn't it?
It's Dr. Seuss. Thank you very much for the tea, Mrs. Green. I should get back to work.
Will you call me Ellie, for goodness sake?
Beth feels a trace of shame for her rashness just now. Logan's words are like a fresh breeze, quietly blowing away the fog in her heart. Perhaps Beth should put aside her prejudices and re-examine this man she once regarded as a lunatic. However, it is precisely because of Logan's help at the kennel that Beth, who loves children, has time to work part-time as a teacher at the school. But Ben doesn't seem very popular at school. He loves the violin very much, but because of this, he is labeled by his classmates as lacking masculinity. Beth witnesses this scene, but she has never heard her son mention his troubles at school. This may be the helplessness of a single mother, clearly caring about the child at all times. Yet there are always some worries she cannot reach. One afternoon, while walking Zeus, Logan accidentally hears the melodious sound of a violin. He follows the sound and stops uncontrollably, discovering Ben practicing here. Repeated ridicule from classmates makes him ashamed to play, so he has to hide in a cabin in the woods to practice secretly every time. Whenever Logan encounters him, he enthusiastically gives him praise and encouragement. Logan is the first person to affirm his music, so Ben genuinely develops a fondness for this uncle. Regardless of his mother's objections, he enthusiastically invites Logan to dinner at home. A child's world is always clear and pure, and Ben's liking for Logan is unmasked. After dinner, the two play chess, using dishwashing duty as the wager for winning or losing. But to Logan's surprise, young Ben possesses excellent chess skills. In just a few simple moves, Logan is left with no way to fight back. Beth almost laughs out loud watching this scene. Before Logan can finish washing the dishes, Ben proposes performing card magic for them. Since his parents divorced, Ben hasn't been this happy for a long time, and Beth saw all of this with her own eyes, and she too gradually stopped rejecting Logan. However, it is now time to rest.
My brother taught him a few tricks. Magic was kind of their thing. We lost him last year. He was a Marine too. It's been hard on Ben. It's been hard on all of us.
At the moment of parting, Logan is desperate to tell the story of finding the photo, but the words get stuck in his throat, and he still doesn't know how to start.
Sorry, I can't find the right words.
It's all right. Another time, maybe. After all, I'm not going anywhere.
Watching Beth turn and leave, Logan's heart remains unsettled for a long time. Meanwhile, Keith squats here every day, spying on their every move. Logan thought he had long forgotten the cruelty of the battlefield, but tonight's conversation with Beth plunges him back into the shadow of war. So he decisively presses the photo under a book, unwilling to touch that painful scar again. The next day is the anniversary of Beth's brother's death. Ellie went with her to pay respects. Beth has never been able to let go of her brother's passing. She sits quietly on the garden bench, gazing at the vegetation they once planted together, and the wall they built side by side. Scenes from the past emerge in Beth's mind, one by one, and her long-suppressed emotions gush out at this moment. She still refuses to believe that her brother has really left her. This scene happens to be seen by Logan, who rushes forward, hugs Beth tightly, and tries to soothe her broken thoughts. As Beth's emotions gradually stabilize, she slowly reveals the grievance accumulated in her heart for a long time. Regarding her brother's death, the military never gave a definitive cause, only saying he might have been killed by friendly fire. The truth cannot be questioned, and no explanation has been received, leaving only a death notice sealed in the archives. But Beth is not unable to face the cruelty of fate. She just doesn't want her brother to leave so worthlessly, because in Beth's heart, her brother is always a hero. He is the mischievous boy who once hid fairy tale books in the wall cracks with her, the relative who grew up with her. When Beth speaks of these past events, her originally broken eyes reveal a bit of gentleness. The memories of the past seem to be vivid, and that warmth makes her laugh uncontrollably. But as she laughs, tears burst from her eyes again. Seeing this, Logan feels waves of sorrow in his heart and pulls Beth into his arms. But when the emotions slowly fade, this sudden intimacy makes them both feel a little at a loss. When night grew as dark as ink, Logan couldn't shake the image of Beth's tear-filled eyes from his mind. He begins to realize that his feelings for Beth have long gone beyond pity. At this moment, Beth is also in turmoil. The man she once guarded against is now like a glimmer of light, quietly shining into her heart. Time flows silently, and Logan has unknowingly integrated into this family. He not only takes care of the pets meticulously, but even devotes great patience and teaching to Ben. Beth also feels the warmth and care he gives to this family in their day-to-day interactions. The stranger she once guarded against has now become the most reassuring reliance in her and her son's lives, and this emotion becomes stronger in their daily interactions. They thought this peaceful life would continue, but Keith's appearance shatters this warmth once again. He plans to take his son to a baseball game. Beth is extremely reluctant, but facing Keith's tough attitude, she can only yield. Although Beth repeatedly warns him to take good care of their son before leaving, an accident still happens when Ben returns. Because the game was too intense, Ben accidentally bumped his nose. But Keith thinks this is just a small accident and not a big deal. Seeing Keith's indifferent attitude, Beth doesn't want to say more and turns to leave, but this angers Keith instead. Logan's timely appearance allows Beth to temporarily escape Keith's entanglement. The smell of gunpowder in the air spreads wantonly at this moment. The two refuse to give in, locking their eyes tightly on each other, until Keith gives a contemptuous sneer, leaving with anger and unwillingness. The tires screeched harshly against the ground, leaving behind a lingering sense of hostility. After Keith leaves, Logan finds Beth. He is very puzzled as to why Beth doesn't take Ben far away from here. Beth confesses that if she leaves, Keith will take away custody of her son, and the judge won't agree to let a woman with no fixed abode take the child. Moreover, this is her home, and Beth cannot leave this harbor that shelters her. Therefore, every time she faces Keith's harassment, all she can do is endure it again and again. But Logan can't understand why Beth would marry such a man.
Picture this. Senior year, he was captain of the football team. I thought that I was in love. Then I got pregnant. He asked, I said yes. This is our home. Has been forever.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
This sudden gentleness stuns Beth. She doesn't know how to respond and can only watch Logan's back as he walks away. Her thoughts surge endlessly at this moment. Beth also gradually realizes it is time to let go of the past and fight for her own happiness.
When are we gonna get those beers?
I won't forget.
Ellie sees all of Beth's changes in recent days. Although she doesn't say it explicitly, she is genuinely gratified by their relationship. As the night grew deeper, Beth and Logan arrived at a tavern by the coast. At this moment, all defenses and restraint quietly dissipate, leaving only the gentleness blown by the sea breeze and two hearts gradually drawing closer. Afterward, Beth takes him to a small boat that has been stranded for many years. This was left by her father when he was alive. She only remembers playing on it often with her brother when she was a child. But now, the boat can no longer sail properly. This place holds too many of Beth's childhood memories. If fate allows, she hopes that one day this boat can set sail again, carrying her and Ben to the boundless distance. Logan takes Beth's small wish to heart. At the moment of parting, the reluctance wandering in their hearts quietly turns into surging emotions. But just as they are immersed in a deep kiss, a police car slowly drives up at the wrong time. It turns out to be Keith's subordinate. At that moment, Logan understands that the other party did not appear by chance, but is watching him in the dark at all times. All of this is a vicious threat and warning, Keith's most direct and brutal obstruction to the emotion quietly sprouting between them. However, once the fire of love is ignited, how can it be easily extinguished? Since then, Logan works even harder, and Beth would often stand off to the side, staring fixedly at his broad, imposing figure. When love emerges, every move of the other person seems intoxicating. Just like that, they fall completely in love. The breeze is gentle, and the water ripples. In their spare time, they go boating on the lake together, playing and frolicking under the reflection of the setting sun. At that moment, they are no longer passers-by to each other, but more like family members who are used to depending on one another. Ellie sees Beth's changes and fully supports her granddaughter in bravely taking this step to embrace a brand new life. But fate is always full of mockery. Soon, it is the day of Ben's birthday. Everyone is immersed in joy, except for Keith, who has a gloomy face, staring straight at Logan with indifference carrying a long suppressed anger. He then finds Beth immediately and viciously threatens her, saying that if Beth doesn't cut ties with Logan immediately, he will use his father's power to make her lose the chance to see her son forever. This cold declaration instantly shatters all of Beth's fantasies. Facing the cruel choice between love and responsibility, Beth's heart feels as if it is being repeatedly cut by an invisible blade. She understands she cannot have it all, so for Ben's happiness and safety, she can only hold back her tears and choose to cut off the blazing love in her heart.
You don't know what I'm dealing with.
I do know that you deserve better than this.
On Logan's way back, Keith tails him closely in his car, his whistling filled with arrogance and provocation. Facing Keith's sarcasm, Logan just stands quietly.
How you doing? You want to ride?
What do you want?
I want to get you a job. All right? You gotta be tired of cleaning up dog shit by now. Now, I know some people. I can make a couple calls and get you something worthy of a veteran.
His eyes revealing restraint and calm. Meanwhile, Beth's depression is completely visible to Ellie, who clearly understands that this is not the life Beth should have.
You know, sacrificing everything in life for our children is, it's not selfless. It's ridiculous.
Her grandmother's words make Beth fall into deep thought. She doesn't know how to choose for a moment, but when she looks at her sleeping son, Beth makes a bold decision. If she can have both, how lucky that would be. Of course, she won't give up her son, but she won't compromise as usual either. So she decisively finds Logan and pours out all the words that have been deposited in her heart for a long time.
You can try and take him, but I will fight you. You and your family's lawyers. I am a damn good mother.
Okay, just...
When these words blurts out, the burden pressing on Beth's heart finally falls to the ground. She once thought that tolerance could buy peace and compromise could buy tranquility, but later she understood that it was just a disguise for her fear. Beth feels reborn, no longer bound by the shackles of the past. She runs towards Logan with full passion, responding to that destined love with the most sincere actions. True spiritual comfort does not come from others' accommodation and endurance, but from one's own bravery and persistence. Later, Ellie accidentally learns that the upcoming church performance lacks an accompanist. Ben is certain that Logan is the best candidate. Ben still finds it hard to step out of the shackles in his heart and bluntly rejects Logan. But Logan is unwilling to give up and finds Ben deep in the woods again.
What if I screw up?
That's the best part about performing in a church. Forgiving audience, right? I can't get up there alone. I need you to be the guy next to me.
What do you mean?
It's how Marines work. We watch each other's backs.
With Logan's encouragement, Ben agrees without much hesitation. Days of spending time together have not only given the two a silent, tacit understanding, but also the trust interlaced in their hearts. When Ellie and Beth return from an outing, they happen to run into the two playing together. This is the first time Ben dares to display his talent in front of his family. This happiness and peace instantly fill every corner of the room. They look at each other and smile, their faces full of unconcealable gratification. Before long, the performance arrives as scheduled. Logan and Ben work together seamlessly, delivering a breathtaking performance. Beth is deeply moved by her son's growth. When Keith looks at everything before him, he gradually wakes up to the fact that what he really lost is not a dispute, but his last remaining dignity as a father, and even as a man. Seeing Beth's happy smile, his heart begins to gradually let go. Perhaps not entangling himself anymore is the best choice for everyone, but in the blink of an eye, he throws all this to the back of his mind again.
Remember a while back I told you about that guy showing Beth's picture around Deckers?
Yeah, so
That's the guy.
Such news shocks Keith greatly. Out of professional instinct, he decides to find out the truth. While Logan and Beth are embracing sweetly on their way home, they are unaware that a sudden storm is quietly approaching. When Logan returns home, he finds his room opened and the photo tucked under the book gone. He immediately senses something bad has happened. However, just as Logan had expected, Keith showed up to confront Beth with that photo. Beth recognizes at a glance that it was the photo she gave to her brother. Keith immediately follows up by adding that the photo was found at Logan's residence. His words act like a carefully laid trap, guiding Beth step by step to suspect the worst. Those rumors that Beth's brother might have been killed by friendly fire seem to be confirmed at this moment. A soldier returned from the Marine Corps, traveling 1,500 kilometers just to do a meager job cleaning a kennel. If not out of deep guilt, why would he be so persistent? Keith's words are heartbreaking, leaving Beth unable to calm down for a long time. Just then, Logan arrives. Without thinking, Beth stands up and questions Logan.
Found it.
This was Drake's. He took it everywhere with him, he told me.
Beth, please listen to me.
You listen to me.
You didn't come here by accident. You came here to find me.
I know I should have told you. I tried. I didn't know how.
As Logan's thoughts return to the battlefield, the sound of gunfire filled with smoke echoes in his ears again. But he overcomes all fear and tells Beth the origin of this photo and how it accompanied him through countless life and death moments on the battlefield. But Beth finds it hard to accept for a moment. This was originally a talisman she gave to her brother, a symbol of bloodline and concern. But now it has fallen into the hands of someone else.
This was Drake's. It was meant to keep him alive.
I wish it had. I wish it had.
Things having come to this, Logan understands that no amount of explanation will help, so he can only choose to leave. But on his way back, Ben suddenly chases him out. He heard the conversation between his mother and Logan, and knows Logan is leaving. For this, he gives his favorite book to Logan. That is all his childhood memories and his deep sustenance of friendship. In exchange, Logan gives him his dog tags and tells Ben to take good care of his mother. Logan turns and leaves. Early the next morning, a depressed Beth goes to the small boat. She finds it piled with Logan's tools. She tries to start the boat and is surprised to find that the little vessel carrying all her memories has regained its vitality. Those laughs and tears buried by time seemed to return to her ears. At this moment, Logan repaired not just a boat, but Beth's long broken heart. As night falls, it rains heavily, as if the sky is weeping for this misplaced fate. Logan disappointedly packs his belongings, preparing to leave tomorrow. He picks up the chess book Ben gave him and finds a photo of Beth's brother and Ben inside. Logan slowly picks up the photo. This man is none other than Logan's teammate, Aces. At this moment, sealed memories flood back like a tide. Logan feels as if he has returned to that night filled with artillery fire. In that operation, they fought side by side, but were surrounded by enemy forces in the chaos. Aces, in order to save his wounded comrades, eventually fell in the ruins. That scene is deeply engraved in Logan's mind, still causing him heart-wrenching pain to this day. So, he decides to tell Beth the truth before leaving. But Keith arrives first. Looking at the tableware, he recalls the sweet moments of their past. He slowly walks up to Beth, hoping they can bury the hatchet and get back together. But how could Beth, who has suffered enough humiliation, believe Keith's sweet words? She frankly states that there is no possibility of them reconciling. This instantly enrages Keith, who decides to take Ben away tonight. Hearing their dispute, Ben feels terrified and runs out in a hurry. Keith realizes too late that Ben is running deep into the jungle. In such terrible weather, the woods are full of dangers, so Keith hurriedly follows Ben into the depths of the forest. At this time, Ben wants to return to the small wooden cabin, but the constantly shaking wooden bridge makes it difficult for him to move a single step. Seeing this, Keith wants to step forward to save his son, but he slips and falls heavily to the ground, causing the wooden bridge to completely lose its balance. He hurriedly grabs a cautious rope nearby, but it is ultimately in vain. The bridge breaks with a snap, and Keith is hit by a falling tree trunk and falls into the icy river water. Ignoring his own pain, he struggles to swim towards Ben. Just then, Beth and Logan finally arrive. Logan jumps into the water without hesitation. The wooden house above Ben is crumbling at this time. The sudden collapse of the wooden house causes Keith's life to be frozen here forever. Although rescuers arrive immediately, Keith has no chance of survival. The next morning, Logan, who is about to leave, finds Beth again and slowly reveals the cause of Ace's death and his heroic act of saving his companions. Just as Beth thought, her brother was an out-and-out hero. After telling all this, Logan turns to leave, deciding to continue his journey. Just then, a familiar shout comes from behind him. The setting sun reflects Beth's figure, just like when they first met. Only now, Logan is no longer the soldier entangled in shadows, but a man who has relearned how to love. Beth's love is like that unextinguished lighthouse, illuminating the deepest darkness in Logan's heart. That photo brought Logan luck, while her love taught him bravery. Between the wind and waves and the afterglow, he no longer fears the darkness ahead, because the lighthouse lit for him has always been there to guide his way. Some say love is the most mysterious force in the world. It cannot be explained, yet it can make people believe in the warmth of life again. Perhaps this is the greatest luck the photo brought Logan, not merely keeping him safe, but granting him the courage to love again after the ruins and pain, to embrace this imperfect yet still shining world.